All right. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why you struggle to learn new things. Because it's great to learn new things, like specifically business skills and relationship skills and life skills and how to discover yourself, right? That's all learning. But why is it so damn hard to learn? And you might think, oh, no, I'm pretty good at learning. It's like, here's the question. In the past year, how much have you actually changed? And have you actually taken all the goals you've had and made them become reality? Or are you stuck in this limbo area? Okay, so this video will explain why that happens. And I have two awesome drawings I'm going to share with you. And then at the end of the video, I can explain to you exactly how you can see a new way of learning so the stuff actually sticks and then you have it as part of you. And then real learning equals change. So when you can actually learn, means you can actually change and get a new outcome. And I'm sure in your life, there's many areas you want to change and get new things. So this will be very eye-opening for you. So let's do it. All right, first things first, I'm going to show you this amazing drawing that I made the other day. This is what we're working with. Okay, so in the middle, you see you got a little stick figure guy, right? And let's say this is you. Now, you see all those dots around the stick figure guy. All those dots, for example, are thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Imagine this is like a force field around you. And when your mind starts racing, you wonder, like, what is it that's racing? Like, why do you have that sensation that your mind is racing at 1,000,000 miles an hour? It's because you have literal thoughts or little particles of energy flying around in your mind and right around you. And you can measure this now. There's a really cool place called Heart Math Institute, and they can measure there's an electromagnetic field around your body. That is your mind. Here's the issue. That mind is programmed with a lot of stuff that's not helping you. Like, think of all the music you've ever listened to and how that programmed you. Think of all the movies you ever watched and how that programmed you. Think of all the past friendships you've had and the relationships you've had and all the moments, especially where there was a lot of emotion with it. Like your first date you went on, or the first time you asked a girl out, or the first time you got your heart broken, or the first time you watched a scary movie. All of that stuff got literally programmed into you. Here's the issue. You're now going in life and you say, hey, I want to go hit that goal. I want to go climb that mountain. I'm going to go hike up that mountain of success. I'm going to climb it. But you're carrying this backpack that's slowing you down. So much so that you might not even be climbing the mountain. You might just be going in loops. But you feel good in your mind sometimes, occasionally. So you're going in loops. Now, that's what we're dealing with, especially as an adult. Now, when you're a kid and really little kids, they don't have this giant force field of a mind. Kids are like a little sponge. They're like the hardware, and the software is getting put onto the kid over time. You, as an adult, have a lot of messed up software in there. And you can either fight that idea and then stay in your current role, in your current level, or you can accept, like, oh, wow, yeah, I guess my mind is programmed. It's like, how did you learn English? How are you hearing me in this video right now? You got programmed. So it's not to say all the programs are bad, just you have like 2,000 programs running in your mind, and they're all a little bit off. They're all a little bit sabotaging you. So that's why you sabotage yourself. Now, here's my other amazing drawing, okay? So you've seen the person with the mind force field. Now, here's the other one, okay? Let's check it. Here we go. Look, so this is now what happens. So remember earlier in the video, I was explaining to you why you try and learn and try and change, and it doesn't work. So this is old school learning. This is anything you do to try and learn right now, whether you're in school or university, whether you listen to a podcast, whether you are reading books, whether you're getting mentorship from someone. This is even if you paid $20,000 for a business mastermind course. Old school learning. Here's what happens. You hear the information come through the screen. Even right now, this is what's happening. The words are coming out of my mouth, through the computer, out of the screen, on YouTube, or wherever you're watching this, and it's hitting your ears. Much of that information is bouncing off. If it's already in alignment with your programming, you will accept parts of it. But for a lot of it, especially if it's a challenging idea, it will literally bounce off because your mind acts as a force field. It's literally a filter. It's crazy. I wrote a whole Substack article on this, and I can link to it. So every single second, guess how much information is exposed to you? 11 million bits of information. But how much are you aware of? Between 40 and 200 bits of information. Okay, so you're filtering out 99.9% of this stuff. Here's the issue. What about the stuff that's really important? Like, what about that advice of like how to actually set up your cash flow so you can be profitable? Or what about that really helpful bit of information on how to have an effective marriage? And let's say that's a goal of yours. And you're like reading the marriage books. You're like going to therapy. You're like trying to change, but a ton of it is bouncing off. Here's the thing. There is a way where you can get that information to bypass the mind and get into the subconscious. And it's phenomenal. I've used this for myself. I've seen hundreds of other people do this. You can change very rapidly when you can get the information through that force field. Here's the issue. Okay, so we're going to look at this picture again. We have old school learning. This is information, bounces off the force field. So whatever the heck you're trying to learn, whether you want to learn about life, cryptocurrency, reading books, whatever. Much of it bounces off because of your programming. Now, really effective learning, you can bypass that. So now it gets in there, but here's the beautiful part. Look at this. Notice the drawing. It gets in, and then now these dots start to form, and it becomes part of your mind. So your mind force field isn't bad. It's just living out its programming. And so if you're not happy in your life with the results you're getting, like I know for me, back in 2019, when I first started to really learn this stuff, I was not happy with my life. I was not happy with my financial situation. I was stressed every time I looked at my bank account. I was stressed looking at my relationship, and it kept faltering. This is before I met my now wife. I struggled with drinking alcohol. I struggled with smoking weed. I didn't really like where I was living. It was just like so much of my life was just like mediocre. That's really what it was. And I am very grateful that I had a handful of people ask me. They're like, "Hey, are you actually happy with your life? Look at the past 5 years. How much have you changed? Have you really changed that much?" I was like, honestly, things have got kind of worse. See, I was willing to be honest in that moment. And it was cool because then they showed me very specific learning tools, very specific tools by which you can bypass your mind and you can get stuff into your unconscious, which is a knowledge bank. And then it's like a seed that gets planted in a garden, and it grows and it grows and it grows. And then all of a sudden you have real knowledge that can be applied, because knowledge is not power. Knowledge that is applied is power. You can have all the knowledge in the world. I know some people who are like professor PhD levels. They like can read books. They got all the knowledge, but they're still broke, or they have a drinking problem, or their wife's going to leave them. And so it's like knowledge isn't power. Applying the knowledge is power. And applying the knowledge in the best way, I would say, is the real power, right? But that's a future video. So if you found this helpful, you should book a time on my calendar, and I will literally show you how this works. We can chat on Zoom. We can meet in person if you live near me, because this is something that is a game changer, and I can show it to you. I want to know what you want to reprogram your mind for. Because if you're just trying to be like some young punk kid who's like trying to become a Bitcoin billionaire or something, I'm not interested in that game. But my guess is that's not actually what you want. That's what you were programmed to want. But I want to have a proper conversation so I can understand, what do you want to program your mind with? Because with great power comes great responsibility. So now you literally, potentially, will have power to reprogram your mind. I say potentially because some of you won't see that you're ready for it or worthy of it. There's a lot of subconscious programs. But I'm telling you, if you go on this journey and if you start to reprogram the mind, it is one of the most phenomenal, amazing things ever. Like my life is a living testament of it. Like where I am right now, my relationships I have, the community I have, the fact that I got my wife and my 2 kids is all a result of the fact that 5 years ago, I decided to really start reprogramming myself for real. Not just try and feel good, not just try and do atomic habits and habit stacking and all that stuff. That stuff is still old school learning. It's still going to bounce off the mind. You're not really going to change from that. You really, really want to change fundamentally. Yes, it takes time, but you can do it in a way that's systematic and sustainable and is phenomenal. So if you want to connect on that, I want to connect with you. And I can show you exactly how this thing works. But I want to know, what do you want to program and what are you trying to let go of? Because I've seen people let go of a lot of stuff that's phenomenal. I've seen people program themselves to create a lot of really cool things. But I want to make sure you have the right intention behind it, because just more money is not what you're looking for. Or just saving your marriage is not what you're looking for. There's something deeper than that, and I want to help you find that. All right. See you.